The boy stood at the edge of the ravine, staring at the village on the other side. His village was poor, isolated, forgotten by the world. The other village was prosperous, with schools and hospitals and opportunities. Between them was a chasm so deep and wide that no one had ever crossed it. "Why don't we build a bridge?" the boy asked his grandfather. The old man sighed. "We have no engineers, no money, no materials, no knowledge. It's impossible. But if we had those things, could we build it? Perhaps, but we don't, so there's no point thinking about it." The boy looked at the chasm. "Then I'll figure out how." Everyone laughed. He was just a boy with no education, living in a village with no books, no teachers, no resources. How could he possibly learn to build a bridge? But the boy had something they didn't understand. He had a mind that refused to accept limitations. That night, he lay on his back and stared at the stars. He began to think, really think. He observed how birds flew across the ravine, the way they used air currents, the way they adjusted their wings. He watched how spiders built webs between trees, creating connections where none existed. He started with questions. What makes things strong? What makes them balanced? What holds weight? Every day he experimented. He built tiny bridges with sticks, testing different designs. Most collapsed immediately. Some held for a moment. A few actually worked. Each failure taught him something new. Each success revealed another question to explore. The villagers thought he was wasting his time. "Stop playing with sticks and help with the real work," they said. But to the boy, this was real work. This was the most important work of all. He studied everything around him. He noticed how trees bent in the wind but didn't break. Flexibility was strength. He saw how anthills were built grain by grain into massive structures. Patience and consistency created the impossible. He watched how water found its path around obstacles. Persistence overcomes resistance. Years passed. The boy became a young man. His stick bridges became more sophisticated. He learned about tension and compression, about load distribution and structural integrity, not from books, but from observation, experimentation, and relentless thinking. "You've wasted your youth on a fantasy," the elders told him. "Accept reality. The bridge will never be built." But the young man smiled. "The bridge is already built. Up here." He tapped his head. "I see it completely. Every beam, every joint, every measurement. Now I just need to make the invisible visible." He began to teach others what he had learned. He showed them his principles, his designs, his calculations, scratched in the dirt. Some dismissed him, but a few listened, and those few began to understand. "We still have no materials," someone pointed out. "Then we make them," the young man replied. "We have trees, we have rope, we have stone, we have hands, and most importantly, we have minds that can figure out how to use them." They started small, a test structure spanning a small stream. It worked. Then a larger one. It held. Each success built confidence. Each problem they encountered, they solved by thinking, by trying, by refusing to give up. The work was brutal. There were collapses that destroyed weeks of progress. There were injuries. There were moments when everyone wanted to quit. But the young man never did. "Every failure is information," he would say. "Every setback teaches us what doesn't work, which brings us closer to what does. The only true failure is stopping." 5 years into the project, they had built a bridge halfway across the ravine. It hung, suspended in air, anchored to their side, reaching toward the other village like an outstretched hand. Then disaster struck. A storm hit, violent and merciless. The wind tore at the structure. The young man watched in horror as his bridge, 5 years of work, began to break apart. Everyone fled to safety, but the young man ran toward the bridge. "Are you insane?" someone screamed. "Let it go." But he didn't let it go. He knew something the others didn't. He had built this bridge first in his mind, and he knew exactly where the weakness was, exactly how to reinforce it. While the storm raged, he worked, tying additional supports, redistributing the load, using the wind's own force against itself. When dawn broke, the bridge still stood, damaged, but standing. "How did you know what to do?" someone asked in awe. "Because I had already solved this problem in my head 100 times," the young man replied. "I had imagined every possible failure and figured out how to prevent it. Your mind is your strongest weapon, but only if you use it before the battle, not during it." 2 more years passed. The bridge reached the other side. The day they completed it, both villages gathered. People crossed the ravine for the first time in history. Families reunited. Trade began. Knowledge flowed. The isolated village was isolated no more. The young man stood at the center of the bridge, watching people pass by. An old woman stopped beside him. She had been the most vocal critic years ago. "Forgive me," she said quietly. "I told you it was impossible." He smiled gently. "You weren't wrong to doubt. The bridge was impossible with the knowledge we had then. But you were wrong about something more important. You believed we couldn't gain that knowledge. You forgot that the human mind is the most powerful tool ever created. Given time, persistence, and refusal to accept defeat, it can solve any problem." A young girl tugged at his sleeve. "How did you do it? How did one person build a bridge?" The young man knelt down to her level. "I didn't build this bridge alone. I had help. But here's the secret. It started with a single decision to believe that my mind was more powerful than my circumstances. Every person said it was impossible. Every physical fact seemed to prove them right. But I chose to think differently." He pointed to his head. "In here, I had unlimited resources, unlimited time to experiment, unlimited space to build and rebuild. While others saw only obstacles, I saw problems to solve. While others saw limitations, I saw challenges to overcome. I used my mind as a weapon against impossibility." He stood and looked at the bridge spanning the chasm. "This bridge isn't made of wood and rope. It's made of thoughts that refuse to quit. It's made of a mind that chose to believe in solutions rather than surrender to problems. It's made of the simple truth that your circumstances don't define what's possible, your thinking does." Years later, when people asked him the secret of his success, he always said the same thing. "Your mind is your strongest weapon. Not your resources, not your circumstances, not luck or connections or natural talent. Your mind." When everyone tells you something is impossible, your mind can find the possibility. When obstacles block your path, your mind can design a new path. When you fail, your mind can learn and adapt. When you're weak, your mind can make you strong. But here's what most people never understand. Your mind is only as powerful as you train it to be. I spent years building bridges in my head before I built one in reality. I trained my mind to see solutions, to persist through failure, to believe in possibility. The ravine didn't defeat me because I defeated it, first in my thoughts. And that's the ultimate secret. Win the battle in your mind, and you'll win it in reality. The bridge stood for generations, a testament not to engineering, but to the power of a mind that refused to accept impossible. Your mind is your strongest weapon. Train it, trust it, use it, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable.